All right, guys, we're recording now, so everybody put on your Disney face.
What would I do? I have no idea how to do that. So that means it's going to Facebook as well.
Mhm.
All right. And then
I'll make sure that the screen is
share.
clickable.
Right. Yes.
No, yeah, I'll try it.
Now try it. Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
all right.
So
All right.
can you put, is it possible to make this bigger so I
Oh,
can
yeah, let me
see?
get this out of here so that it's not. And we'll show it for the panel.
Yeah, yeah. Brilliant. So that's up there. All right, cool beans.
All
Thank you
right,
so much.
guys, we're here with Fiona Wheeler, our compliance broker who keeps you out of real estate jail, right?
Yes.
And she's going to be going over marketing for open houses today. Open houses are an amazing way to get leads. Obviously, there's a couple ways to get leads. You can door knock, you can cold call. You can join a team or productivity coaching, which helps you to learn to get leads faster. Or
You do open houses, and I've been doing them for 28 years.
and that's how you started out getting your business.
Because I had nothing. I had nobody because I knew my mom, my dad, my next door neighbor, Val. That was it. So when people say I'm moving from Vancouver, it's like, so
Yeah.
it's good. You can do it, but there's some tricks, and it's getting better and better and easier than when I first started.
Yeah. So Fiona, take the floor.
Cool
Guys, you're in
beans.
good hands.
Cool beans. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, and this is, you know, a lot of people do this with regard to requirements on Zoom and everything else. I don't care what you look like, I truly don't. But if you could just put your faces on, that's great, because it's pretty sad for me to sit and look at an empty classroom. Hey, that's the first one. Hey, pretty lady. Hey, there we go. See, it doesn't matter. You can be in the shops, you can be in Kroger's. Now, I know that Sean is probably driving a vehicle, so perhaps we don't need to see his face. But we're gonna see his
I was gonna
face.
say it anyway. I'm gonna put my face on, but I'm gonna get off because I am driving.
Okay, well, all right, then. That's cool. Well, thank you. It's just nicer. It's kind of soul destroying to look at an empty classroom and then just see names. But I know who you all are, so that's nice. So Lorinda, Beverly, and Donna, it don't matter what you look like, just shove your faces on, and we'll start. So let's see here. Let's see, Ignite. This is not an Ignite class, let me tell you, okay? However, but, because there is no such word as but. The big thing is that Ignite was created by Keller Williams University. They have a lot of good things that I'm going to be telling you about, but you've got to remember that Ignite is created in Austin, Texas. So it goes for people all over the United States and in fact the world now. It's, you know, it's all over the place. It's translated into many different languages where there's many different rules. So when I keep on stopping and say yes, but don't get annoyed, it's just because I know that there's different rules here. And speaking from experience and getting into trouble a few times way back along of what you can and can't do with, hey Donna, hey Lorinda, thank you so much. You know, I'm not gonna cry, but there you go, that's very kind. So moving on, let you go. So anywho, right, so there's a lot of rules that we have in Georgia, and that's where we're selling real estate, or that's where this whole open house thing is about, that we've really got to adhere to, because you don't want to get that call on a Monday morning, hey, you did this, and now the HOA's ticked with you and everything else. So it's embarrassing, and it's embarrassing if you're doing it for one of your sellers. So we'll move and groove. Who here has done an open house? You need to stick your hand up because I can see it. Who here has done an open house? Excellent. All right. Lorinda, you haven't done an open house yet? Stick your hand up.
I'm sorry. Yes, I have.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we did one together. You gotta put your hand up, girl.
Seriously, yeah.
My phone is hard. I was looking for it.
All right, fine. So, when I first came here, I'm just letting you know, when I first came in 1995, everyone thought it was going to be a breeze for me because my dad was with Coca-Cola and they just thought that he was going to be able to give me all these referrals. Well, no, because in those days, and that was when Prudential was around, now it's Berkshire Hathaway, but Prudential was the one who really were in with Coca-Cola and relocation. So you had to be relo certified, and in those days, you had to have been in real estate for 2 years. I didn't know when I got off the boat that I had to have all these requirements, and they wouldn't give any referrals, even if it was my dad's best friend or my dad's boss or my dad's secretary, and it was being done through Coca-Cola. And perhaps even the irony was a few of these people had actually been to our house in the United Kingdom, watched me play the piano in my PJs, you know, the performing tricks. And still, I wasn't able to work with them. So I knew mom, dad, and next door neighbor Val. And I went and sat down and basically said to my broker, I'm probably going to have to go, honest to goodness, I'm probably going to have to go back to the UK. I was only staying here for 2 years anyway, so it really didn't matter to me. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to have to go back because I have no business. And I showed her a book. I should have brought it. I still got it. I showed her a book with 6 names in that I had, that I could market to, 6. And she sat me down, Tony McGowan, and she said, you're not going to quit. Give me 6 months. And I will have 4 sales for you in 6 months, but you've got to come and see me every morning at 8:30 in the morning. So, okay. So I stayed 6 months, and yes, by the end of the first year, I'm not boasting, I'm just telling you, I was Rookie of the Year in that office, which was the Dunwoody Prudential office. I did open houses for a year, and so obviously I stayed longer than 6 months. I did open houses for a year. The only Sunday I didn't do was Mothering Sunday because my mom would have kicked me out for will. So I even did Father's Day. I did Super Bowl Sunday. I had no idea how much of a failure that was going to be, but anywho. And I got business, I got listings, and I got buyers. And I built my database from doing open houses. Now, along the way, did I get kicked in the teeth? Yes. Did I have some times where there was only 1 or 2 people showed up? Did I have to call the police? Yes. Did I have to call my boyfriend to come and rescue me because someone had locked me in the house and wanted to do silly things? Yes. You learn, and you never have these things happen again to you. They should all be written in a book, but there you go. So, let's just embrace it. Don't go into it thinking when you're going to get an open house that you can just start on a Thursday. It is a week event. It's a week preparation. In my book, it's a week of preparation, and if you do it right, it's like anything. If you put the work in, you'll get the stuff back. Okay. And even if you don't get as many people as you want to come, it's okay. It's okay, because you'll do something better the next time or the next week. And if you have this as part of your marketing, as part of your work, how you get your clients, you will succeed because you're going to put it down on your 411. If you're in coaching with Anne, you should have at least 3 ways that you're prospecting and trying to get and intending to get business. So mine was open houses and still is. Let's see here. So lead generation, okay? It is a part of your lead generation. Yes, you can definitely be cold calling, you can be warm calling, you can be doing events whereby you invite people to an event, even if you're not paying for it, it's fine. But there's got to be something that you're doing yourself that you're actually seeing people. And a lot of times, for me, although it's not the me show, I'm just saying for me, it's a lot easier to speak to people who are complete strangers face to face. I think that if you can engage with someone and look them square in the face and look them in the eyes, you get a far better and honest response than if you're on the phone and go, hey, I'm Fiona Jane Wheeler. We just listed a house down the street, and this works for a lot of other people. It just doesn't work for me. We just listed a house down the street. We're going to be having an open house on Sunday. I hope you can come. Well, that's great. That is part of all this, but I do better face to face. Okay, so capture the leads and remember the fortune is in the follow-up. You've got to keep on saying that in your head, even if you're exhausted, whatever, the fortune is in the follow-up. Why on God's green earth would you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to have an excellent event and have 40 people come around and then just take Monday off? You're left with nothing. So, is it lazy? Yes. Is it entitlement? Yes. Well, I worked all weekend. I really don't care. You're a realtor. So, you can take another day off on another day. So when I first started, I used to take Thursdays off. Actually, that's a lie. I used to take Fridays off, and then I realized that I was doing so much stuff on a Friday to prepare for buyers and open houses at the weekend. I really wasn't having a Friday off. So a Thursday is what I used to take off. Whereby I could go and get the dry clean and go and take the dog to the groomer. All my stuff that I would do normally if I was in a normal 9 to 5, I did on a Thursday. Because Saturdays and Sundays, it's a realtor's day. Sorry, it is. And if I once, I was the assistant team leader down in Sandy Springs, and I used to recruit. And there was a lady once came in who said, I love the office. I love everything Keller Williams has to offer. I love your training. I just can't work at weekends. Okay. And then I thought, well, perhaps she has another job. Perhaps she's a nurse or something, or perhaps she does something at weekends. And no, it was just because she just didn't want to, because she liked to go and lie by the pool and go shopping. So she didn't join. I don't know what she's doing now, but I thought it was incredulous that someone would even contemplate as a realtor not working at weekends. I mean, seriously, or nights or mornings. Okay, so capture leads with open houses. Best practices we'll go through, and prepare and prospect, pursue, that's the 3 Ps, and recap with the ahas and the daily success, but we'll go through that. Nothing else about your business will have as big as impact on it as the number of leads you have. Yes, when people say that businesses are failing, it's because they haven't got enough leads. If you had more leads than you could muster, than you could possibly deal with, your life would be a lot better than if you only had 2 that you were focusing on. Well, what happens when those 2 sell? What happens when those 2 buy? Now what do you do? So I used to be a PC, and they used to call me my clients agent, and they used to say, hey, FJ, I just closed with, Billy Smith. And I would say, great, you can take the rest of the day off because tomorrow you're unemployed again. They didn't like that, but it was true, because unless they had another closing coming up for next month or another closing, what do they have? And I'm talking about a agents who are completely full-time or said they were. I'm not talking about people who are dual career agents. I'm not, but you know, and God bless. So yes, leads. You need, you know, the three, I don't see it, it's on the wall somewhere around here. But the 3 L's in the MREA book are leads, listings, and leverage. If you can get the leads, the other 2 sides of the triangle will happen. But if you're not going to try and pursue leads and you're waiting for it falling out the trees, it's not going to work. So I don't have a listing to hold open. I don't have signs yet. I may not know the answers. Open houses don't really work. I won't feel safe. Here's a funny thing I saw on Facebook the other day. I don't know, possibly for the more seasoned agents or people who've been around a while, probably Donna might know. Mike Ferry, do you remember Mike Ferry from way back along, Donna?
Yes.
Yeah, well, he for years said, don't do open houses. Don't do mail outs. Don't do open houses. They don't work. Well, so Mike has retired and is probably living on an island now because he's probably a gazillionaire. He was one of these, you know, this is a lot, Mike Ferry was around long before a lot of other people. I think he and probably Brian Buffini started about the same time. And these are people that people pay money to coach them, to show them how to market stuff. They're big. And there was another one, I can't remember, something, Sweat Hogs was another one with somebody, and I can't remember who it was. But people paid a lot of money outside of their own training, because really training was, you know, Prudential had good training, Coldwell Banker had good training, the traditionals had good training. So Mike Ferry said for years, don't do an open house. What a waste of time. Well, anyway, I saw on Facebook the other night, his son, who now is in charge of the whole Mike Ferry thing, and I can't remember what his son's called. It'll come to me.
Tom.
Is it Tom?
It is.
Yeah. Tom has these open house webinars now. Open house webinars, open house scripts. And I was chuckling. I have a red chair at the house, which no one dares sit in, it's mine.
Fiona, he created a whole virtual open house program during COVID.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Because it doesn't work, right? And I think he must have seen the opportunities. But I mean, for the longest time, I would battle with, you know, and I was a rookie. I was, you know, I just got off the boat from England. What do I know? I had a funny accent, and I'm sitting in an office in Dunwoody with a lot of very successful, very seasoned agents. And I would be saying, I'm going to do an open house, and they would go, good luck. Can I go and do your open house of a new listing? Sure, knock yourself out. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because apparently it didn't work. But that's all I had. And remember, going back to Tony McGowan, she said, give me 6 months. Find what you're good at. Cold calling on a Tuesday night in the attic of 1555 Mount Vernon Parkway did not work. I did it religiously, and I was terrified. And this is before we had computers. So we used to each be given a desk in the attic of this very nice office. And I don't know why we were shoved in the attic. It was like something out of Jane Eyre's times. But we're all shoved in the attic, all of us rookies, and given white pages to go through. And you started at A, and then Betty would be given C through whatever. Then Johnny would be, I mean, it was nuts, but that's how you prospected. Because we didn't have, there was no call list then. There was no really database thing. There was no, cell phones were kind of newish. So we all were given a black phone on the desk, and that's how you had to prospect. I think I got 2 listings that way in 6 months. That's not enough to pay my bills. So I had to find something else that I liked doing. And if you like doing it, you'll do it well. If you don't like doing it, okay. But I would say there's a caveat to this as well. please don't give up after the first 2 or 3. You'll get into your groove, and that first time you get a buyer or seller that you hook, you're hooked. And it's like, wow, I did nothing but put some balloons up today. But, and they came and talked to me, and they liked me. And I did what FJ had talked about and all these other things, and it works. I tell you, you just got to do it. It's persistence, okay? But don't give up and tell me, well, I've done 3, I'm not going to do any more. Okay.
Can I share a story, Fiona, when you have a minute?
Yes, so I can grab my coffee. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to share a quick story. Beverly Cross is on this call. She's a new agent in our office.
Hold on. I don't know where the sound's gone. Good. Hold on, love.
Sure.
Uh-oh. I must have done something wrong. Hold on, love. I don't know where you've all gone. Speak now. Say 1, 2,
I'm here.
3.
Here.
Okay. Yeah, good. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to share quickly, Beverly Cross, she's on this call today. She's a new agent in our office. I met Beverly because I was hosting an open house for another Keller Williams agent in her neighborhood. And my son door knocked, invited the neighbors. Beverly came to the open house and I stayed in contact with her. Beverly ended up hiring me to sell her house. And then she joined our Keller Williams office. She decided to pursue real estate. She went through real estate school and K-Score and joined our office. So open houses, I mean, that's limitless.
Yes, I mean, that is, I hadn't even thought of the second side of it. Thanks, Donna. I mean, yes, you got a listing, you met someone who you're probably going to be friends with for life, which is very nice. You met a new friend, and you've also got someone to come to your office who obviously I'm guessing is in your downline or whatever. And you can help and nurture and work together. That it just, I think that a lot of people think it's just to put some balloons out and that's it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah, good for you, Donna. But yes, so, well, Beverly, I bet you're glad too you met her. So that's very cool. So now you will have to do the same. And I won't feel safe. Okay. So capture leads. Hold on. Let's see here. All right, let's go back. All right. Dispel limiting beliefs. You might know, I think Beverly knows me, and so does Lorinda. You know, never say never. Everybody has crapola that goes on in their life. It happens because it's called life. So I don't have a listing to hold open. I really, you know, I got this from my grandma. I don't suffer fools gladly. You know, be the victim if you want to be. I don't have a listing. All right. Don't be the agent, just me thinking, that puts it out onto Facebook. Hey, I'm a new agent to KW. I'm available to hold open houses. Give me a ring. And I think Lorinda has heard me say this 1,001 times. Be the proactive. Yes, she's smiling. Be the proactive one. Go into FMLS. Don't call the staff. They're slammed. Go into FMLS. You can do a search just like you would for homes, but you're going to be specific. So you're going to go into FMLS and you're going to go in and you're going to pull our office, which our office is KWRO, which is all letters, KWRO for Roswell, and then 01. So KWRO and then 01. That is our office. So then you can just pull, and you can do actives or coming soons, just exactly the same as you would for a client. I would do active probably dateline 2 weeks. And then I obviously coming soon goes without saying. All right, pull it. Yesterday, I believe we had 85, 86 listings in this office because I was looking yesterday. So we have 85 or 86 listings. Now, don't be offended if you call because you might not know who all of these folks are. That's okay. If it's a team you call and they say, well, thank you so much, you might not even know it's a team. Thank you so much, but I have, you know, the manager of the team will probably say, thank you so much, but we have a person that does that for us. Okay, well, thank you very much. Well, if you ever get stuck, just let me know in the future, because you know that person that they have might have something come up at the last minute, and now you've said that, you're on their radar, which is a good thing, because you don't know where that will lead either. Good stuff. So you just bang through. You can be specific. Do you want to be doing open houses in Gwinnett? Well, if you live there, yes. So here's another little side note, and you'll hear lots of those. Because I did and still do open houses a lot. So when again, I was in Dunwoody, I got hooked up with a mentor called Catherine, and Catherine was very successful, still is. She's now with Sotheby's, and was very successful. And her and her husband, Rick, took a shining to me. Why? Because they saw me in every day. I had nowhere else to go. They saw me in every day in that attic in Dunwoody. It's opposite the big Presbyterian church there. A white house looking thing. It's an office, but it looks like a cute colonial home. In the attic, they had an office as well. And they would see me going to my little cubby, but they had this suite, and they would see me going in religiously every morning at 8:30. And so bit by bit, we got to talk, you know, you'd talk to them in the corridors, you would have your coffee with them. And I really, you know, in my youth, I wanted to be like Catherine. So I would follow her, I would go on listing appointments with her just to copy and listen and learn. And she gave me the opportunity to do an open house, and it was in Gwinnett. True story. Now I'm in an office in Dunwoody. I live with mom and dad at the time in Sandy Springs, actually Brookhaven at the time. And I was doing an open house in Gwinnett. All right, so I do this open house. She tells me how to do long before I even know what 7th level open house means. And that is just like doing it the best, super open house. It's not just a balloon and some cookies. And I got 2 listings. True story. I had to share it with her because that's how she worked. I got 2 listings and I got 3 buyers. So where did I spend the next 6 months working? Gwinnett. Did I want to? No. And nothing wrong with Gwinnett, but my gosh, I didn't know what I didn't know. I do now. I didn't know Beaveroo, and I didn't know Cruise Road. I didn't know anything up and down the 85. I learned very fast because face it, if I'm standing in Gwinnett, what is the likelihood that the people that are coming into the house want to look in Brookhaven, want to buy in Marietta? Slim to none. So I made good money. My little Acura Integra put on boatloads of miles. Because here's the other thing, remember in those days, we really just had faxes. And we used to put out, remember those flyer boxes? So we used to put out flyer boxes, and sure as you know what, on a Friday afternoon, my seller would call me, even though they'd been told to call me well ahead of time, go, hey, we got no flyers anymore. Now, what am I supposed to do? So I print them in Dunwoody and hoof all the way up the 85 and put them in the flyer box, give them spare to put in the kitchen drawer again, and go off on my merry way. So live and learn. I never I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. And I was very, very grateful to Catherine because think about it. I wouldn't have had all that success without her throwing me this bone and saying, hey, this is a great listing. We don't, and I should have listened. We really don't want to focus in Gwinnett, but it's our babysitter's mother. I'm like, okay, should have listened, but it worked. The other side of that coin is I learned what I don't do to other agents. So if I give an open house to one of y'all, to one of you all, I am not going to take anything from you. Understand? If you're taking time out of your week, time away from your family, your loved ones, your personal life, and you are doing a Sunday, you are going to buy balloons, you are going to put your signs out at nighttime, you are on the phone, you are going to be doing all the things that we're discussing. I'm not going to ask for a referral if you get a buyer. Live and learn. Go, all that business that I got in Gwinnett, she wanted a piece of. Now, very successful agent. And she did it correctly. She did everything correctly. She did it all on paper. So it just said that if any buyers that I got did not want to buy that particular house, because let's face it, if I got any buyers and they were unrepresented and we bought the house, then I would be getting 3% anyway. Actually, in those days, it was 3.5%. Commissions were 7% when I first started. So I was okay there. But if a buyer came in and said, no, this house is just not for me, she expected to get 10% when I helped them buy another house. Yeah. And when I first started with Prudential, I was on a 50-50 split. So 50 went, and that's how they did it with traditional. So 50 went to my broker without me ever seeing it. Yeah. So, live and learn. And I swore at that time that whenever I became successful and I was, lucky enough to have business and be able to say to them, hey, I can't do that open house. Could you please? I'm not going to take anything from you. It's your gig. If you don't work it, that's your own fault. But if you do, and you get buyers off it and a couple of listings, how nice. God bless. So it's kind of paying it forward, but I learned the hard way, but that's what I'm saying. You're going to hear lots of this, never do that again. So you'll always be able to have a listing. So I don't want to ever hear, I don't have a listing. You can get a listing, okay? I don't have signs yet. All right, borrow them. If money's tight, I get it. When you first start real estate, you seem to be shelling out money constantly. I understand. There are plenty of kind people here that will lend you the open house signs. I mean, let's face it, once you've bought them, unless they're stolen, from the neighborhood, you've got them for a while. So you might want to invest in 5, and you can get them at the FMLS shop. We have 3 shops here. There's Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and can't remember where the other one is. It's yonder side, over by the Georgia MLS shop. Well, the Georgia MLS shop on Montreal on 285, that has them as well. You can get them at Office Max. You can get them at Home Depot, unless you want the yes, Christopher. No, just reading. Oh, okay. If you don't want to spend bukus of money yet, you can borrow them from people, like I say, or just get the generic ones that at least say Keller Williams, so they know it's you. Because if there's 5 other open houses, how will they know it's yours that they're coming to? If it's just a red generic from Office Max. Whatever you do, get 5 signs, keep them in the boot of your car. I may not know the answers to questions visitors have. Okay. Well, do you know all the answers that your kids ask you? So you're not going to have kids. All right. Do you know all the questions when you're writing a contract? No. I still don't. It'll be fine. You are now salespeople. And for 3-4 hours that you do an open house, you are on show. You're on stage. So look good, smell good, and look like you know what you're doing. If you truly don't know the question, get your pen and paper out. Don't just stand and go, I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, how lax is that? That's a very good question. Let me ask the seller that, and if you can just give me your cell phone number, I'll text you the answer when I leave here tonight. You know, what are the taxes? Well, shame on you. You should know what the taxes are. What's all that digging going on behind the back garden? Well, that's actually going to be a new Kroger's. Great. If you don't know what the digging is, shame on you. How would you have known all this? Because you would have gone to preview the listing at least 2 days before you held it open, for the love. So do your due diligence and find out stuff. But if they really ask you something, what's the school? What school is this here? Good question. Hold on. It should be on the FMLS printout that you printed up. But if you can't remember, it's okay. You know, this is actually not my listing, but let me find out for you. If you want to just go upstairs and have a look upstairs, I'll look up because I have my laptop here, and I can also call the listing agent quickly. And if you want to have a look at the bathrooms or go and have a look at the garden, I will let you know when you come back in. Get the answers. The listing agent will know probably 90%, 95% of the stuff. And if you've done your homework and you've been to see the house, and even, I mean, I used to go and actually meet the sellers. There's a thing. So I would go after their work hours and meet with them and just be so thankful and ask them, thank you for, and tell them, thank you for letting me do the open house. Now, you know, Catherine's nowhere in sight now, so I'm thanking them. Thank you so much for letting me do the open house. Would you mind if I just had a look around? No, sure, we're having dinner, but go ahead, fine. And then if I have any questions, just 5 minutes of your time. Just be humble, do your job. And then you come back down the stairs and you say, great, lovely home, great. I can't wait to hold it open on Sunday for you. And just want to know, do you know what's going on in next door's garden? Because they seem to have a lot of dirt and a JCB digger. Someone's going to ask you. So just be mindful and be inquisitive. Okay. So you'll know the answers. Open houses don't you ever do. Okay. So I'm not even gonna go there. Most people look online. Okay. So if you're advertising, why you're not advertising yourself on realtor.com for free, Zillow.com for free, you're making sure that your presence is known on Facebook and Instagram with your cell phone number, and you've asked the listing agent to put it into the FMLS remarks and Georgia MLS remarks and onto its website for open houses. So yeah, people do look online, especially since they got used to doing that during COVID times. But if your number is present or your email is present, you should be getting people asking you about it. I won't feel safe. All right, I get it. So when I was in England, that sounds so long ago, one of my friends was actually murdered. Her name was Susie Lamco. And Susie Lamco in the north of England was a realtor. And long before I came here, was a realtor. So this would be 94, 93. And she was found in a house that she'd gone to show, and it was vacant, and we couldn't find her for 2 days, and then we found her, and she was gone. And we kind of learned very fast that you really shouldn't show houses by yourself, or if someone doesn't know where the devil you are. If you're that keen and that unaware of that niggly feeling in your tummy, and girls get it more than boys, sorry, Sean, we do. That niggly feeling in your tummy where it's like, something's not right. Walk away, get your keys, get in the car and go. It's simple.
Hey, we get it in our bellies too. We just feel we can overcome
do?
it. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, that's good.
We know. We
You
just
know.
like, I feel I can handle it. But I'll put it
Yeah.
out there. If anybody's doing one and they feel like they need someone there, I'll come and hang out. I don't mind.
Yeah, that's nice.
I can act as a bodyguard.
Yeah, you can. Even
I don't-
if you just sit.
I don't look intimidating, but I just bring the New York accent on and then it changes people's opinion real quick. Hey, how you doing? What are you doing here? Hi? You want to talk to me? Okay, I'm just saying.
Good, that's nice, and it's more fun anyway to do it with someone there. But, so my point is, so that was my first slap on the back of the head. Like, wow, the world is not quite as safe as I thought, ignorant as I was. Then, what, 4 years ago now? 3 years ago, Beverly Carter, for those of us who've been doing it for a while, she went running off after dinner because she got a call on one of her listings. And Beverly Carter was never seen again. And Beverly Carter was found in a dumpster behind her listing. And everyone tried to find Beverly Carter. Beautiful woman, beautiful. Had been, not that it matters if you're ugly, I'm just saying, beautiful woman, blonde hair. You can Google her, Beverly Carter. And for probably about a year, all of us realtors, because we hadn't had anything like that for a while, all of us realtors wore blue ribbons because our favorite color is blue, and we had it on our Facebooks as a, you know, as the, what do you call it? It was brutal, and it was like, wow, here we go again, you know. Now, in the middle of all that, back to my Gwinnett days. So I'm dating this guy who is actually now my husband. I'm dating this guy who's working for Harry Norman. And he is watching a football game at his home in Buckhead. And I am in Gwinnett. And I am doing an open house till 5. And at 4:30, a very nice looking man came in, sat on the couch, and there was a football game going on. The same one probably Don was watching. Another family came in, looked around, and this guy just kept on sitting on the couch. The family then came and looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And so he went up to the gentleman, family man, went up to this man sitting on this huge leather couch and said, "Sir, this is an open house. She needs to shut it soon." I had never told the guy what to say. And he said, "Well, it's none of your blah, 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 blah business, and I'll stay here as long as I blah, 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 blah." My car was on the driveway, and this guy had jammed me in because I thought it was cool to park on the driveway. So I parked on the driveway, and he had jammed me in. My handbag was in the car, stupid, and my keys were in the kitchen, and that's fine. So I called Don. Don't want to upset mom and dad, so I called Don. And I swear Don was probably there in 20 minutes. And he drove one of those Cougars at the time, so I don't know how he got there. But he did, straight up 85. And he came in and he said the same. Long story short, the guy was out on bail, had already bopped 2 ladies on the head at a subdivision round the corner that was Sharon McSwain. Sharon McSwain used to be a big builder, and had bopped them on the head. One did not stay around, and one did. And I was obviously going to be next. And I didn't probably think how dangerous this was. And my dad, way back along, had said, "Tell me again, you're directing people to a house with balloons and signs, and you're going to stand in a house by yourself with cookies and coffee. And that's what you do to earn money." Because he was Coca-Cola executive and my mom was a school teacher. So none of us were sales. I'm like, "Yeah, that's what they're telling me to do." Okay, this sounds nuts. When you think about it, it does. So there are plenty of things you can do to stay safe. You can be cognizant of your surroundings. You cannot do an open house in a shady area. That's why you go and check the open house the minute you get it from the FMLS and you ask one of your fellow realtors here. If you think it's like in a dodgy area, then don't do it. Just call in and say, hey, it's, you know, I just can't do it this Sunday. I'm so sorry. And just be honest. What's the point of doing an open house if you feel so frightened? You're not going to want to go and door knock. You're not going to want to meet other people in the street who are walking their dogs. If you think it's a shady area, it's okay. Let someone else do it. Be safe. Put yourself first. But there's other things you can be doing. You can always tell someone where you are. We have in our family a red file policy. And the red file is if I feel a little bit nervous, and by the way, I always keep my keys in my pocket now when I am doing an open house. So my cell normally goes on, now I have one of these famous iWatch things anyway, but my cell is in one and my keys are in the other. You can take the rest of it. And if I can, I park as close to the street as I can. Now, if it's on something like the 92, no, I'm not going to park on the 92, but I'm going to park somewhere close where I personally feel that no one can jam me in, because that's never going to happen again. Oh, by the way, to close up that thing with Gwinnett, the police came because Don had already called the police when he was on his way up. The police came, and that's how we knew that this guy was a dangerous guy. He looked like you and me. He looked normal, had a nice car, but he was not nice, and he was mentally imbalanced, obviously. And I believe he's still in prison. So, might be dead, I don't know. But anywho, so you could, red file. Red file is, I call Don and I say, hey, can you go to the red file on my desk? Now he might be standing in, it's a Sunday, he might be in Home Depot buying plants. And he's gonna know the minute my sentence comes in, can you go and get the red file, please? And he will say, without any qualms, he says, yeah, what's the address of that? And I go, 123 Main Street. And he'll say, we practiced before. He'll say, 123 Main Street. Okay, that's fine. And do you need it now? Which means, do I call the police now? Or do you just need it a little bit later? And do you want me to come and bring it to you? Which means you just got that squirrely feeling in your tummy. Do you want me to come? Do you want me to send someone? And that's it. We've only had to do it once since the Gwinnett incident. And there was nothing wrong, but I was glad I did it. I mean, the person who I felt was a little bit iffy was not, they were just weird. But it's better to be safe than sorry. And in my old office, we had that too. So if I was showing property, because you know, we get so many leads off the internet now, you can't vet them. You can definitely say though now, yes, I can show you that house tomorrow, sir, but I'm going to need a copy of your driver license scanned to my email. And I can meet you there at 3 o'clock. Can you tell me what you drive and who will be coming with you? Stop running around like money is the be all and end all. It is very important. I'm not stupid. You're not doing this for the good of your health. I get it. But you have got to think about safety. There is a safety class that the ABR or the ARA does, the Atlanta Realtors Association. It's packed normally. It's it tells you other things that I would have never thought about. The one I'm telling you about is the truth, was the driveway thing. I had always thought it was nice to put the car on the driveway, plus it's easier to lift in your bottled water and your Cokes and all that good stuff. Just don't, okay? You've got to see a way out. The other thing to do is, so tell somebody that knows you, and you might have a husband who's overseas on a trip. You might not have a husband, you might not have a boyfriend. Tell a best friend, tell somebody, hey, I'm going to be in an open house from 2 till 3 or 2 till 4 on Friday. Can you just text me twice? Once when I'm about to start, and once say at 3 o'clock. My husband calls probably 5 times, and I do open houses from 2 to 4. And all he says is, hey, how you doing? And he's busy. He's a lender now. So he's busy doing his own thing. And I'll say, I'm fine. And I always pick up. The one time I didn't pick up, it was trouble. So yeah, always pick up. Even if I'm standing talking to Donna Patrick and her son about moving into this house. It's like, hey, Donna, this is just my husband. And why not say it? This is just my husband to make sure I'm all right. So if you're about to bop me on the head, you might want to know that. You know, that's what you're planting the seed. Someone knows where I am. So there's lots of ways. And if you put it out there that you don't feel safe, I don't know. I mean, if anybody goes to Kroger's when it's dark, apparently you can do that. If you go and fill up your gas tank with petrol after dark, you're doing that. That's equally as stupid. So, for ladies and gentlemen, Sean, but really primarily for ladies. So there's always stuff you can do, okay? Open houses, who benefits? The sellers benefit, buyers benefit, neighbors benefit, and you, the agent, okay? On the bottom here, it says, before engaging in in-person activities, consult your jurisdiction rules regarding COVID. Okay. I think we're okay for the minute with the COVID stuff. But here's something that I need to put out. Again, another story where you get caught. I don't want you to get caught or fined. If you were doing an open house in Roswell, the rules there are different to Gwinnett. The rules from there are different to East Cobb. The rules there are different to Midtown Atlanta. It is up to you to find out what the rules are with signage. And on each government website, it tells you how far you can put your signs. For example, if you've ever driven up 85, obviously they don't have many rules. Because when you get off on Beaver Ruin or any of those exits on the right, going north on 85, the sign, and they stay there. If you're going to do a neighborhood, you need to check with the HOA, when can I put my signs out? Otherwise, I'm telling you right now, they'll take it down. There's some Mrs. Do-Gooder or Mr. Do-Gooder that sees it on Thursday and goes, no, we only allow signs to go out after 5 on a Friday, and they must be down by 5:30 on a Sunday. So you might want to find out the rules. If you don't care, fine. I'm just telling you, you're going to lose some signs. And last time I checked, it cost money. So just find out what the rules are, how far back they have to be from the street. There's rules. So who it benefits? The seller. Now, going back to Mike Ferry, he used to say that they were useless and they didn't do anything. The seller, you have a seller, or the seller of the agent that you're borrowing the open house for, the listing from, might not see the benefit. They might say that the cruel thing, which is, well, you're only doing it so you can see what other business you can get. And you can reply and say, yes, that is part of why I'm doing it. The other reason I'm doing an open house is so that the public can come and see your house. Those people who either don't have a realtor or whose realtors are busy showing or out of town at the minute. So no, it's just so I can showcase your home, Mrs. Seller. And yes, it does benefit me. And yes, it is part of my marketing. And yes, it is my job. Buyers. So buyers, yes. Buyers who don't have an agent. Buyers who have an agent, but she's on holiday with her family, or she's had a family emergency. These people can all come and see the house. Now, one of the things when you have a buyer's agency is you can send your buyers to these open houses and feel completely safe in knowing that they're protected. You have to tell your buyer, hey, Elsie, I'm going to be at the beach next week, and because we haven't sold your house yet, I understand that we can't really go and look and, buy another house. However, but it might be good if you went to just see some of these open houses that I've just sent to you in your email. And please take my business cards that I gave you last week. And please, when they ask you to sign anything, be it, the guest book or whatever, just say you do have a realtor and put my name, my number down. If you don't tell buyers, they don't know. They are the public. So if they have never been through this before, you really might protect yourself. So on the other side of the fence, when you are the open house extraordinaire, and someone comes in, you ask them to sign in the book, or you do the electronic version, which I'll tell you about later. There should be a line item that says, are you working with an agent? And then there should be another line item that says, if yes, please list name and company. That just protects you. If you then get a contract from someone, Susie Smith with Berkshire Hathaway, and you go, well, hang on a minute, I don't remember her ever logging in on my super EKI. Where did she come from? And that buyer's name on the bottom of this contract, it's an unusual name. I swear I saw them at my open house last week and I sent them small properties. So you need to know, but then when you look through your sign-in book, there they are, and it clearly said that so-and-so Smith, Susie Smith with Berkshire is my realtor, and she's who represents me, and it's okay. So protect yourself, okay, and protect and be honorable. If someone says, yes, I have an agent, still give them the whole kit and caboodle about this wonderful house, this wonderful neighborhood, and how are you doing and how long you've been looking. But just know that's your job, and be ethical, and don't say, well, if you'd like to write a contract, you can stay and we'll write it this afternoon. No, call the agent and say, hey, Elsie or Susie Smith, I've just met your buyers, Tammy and Brian, and they seem to like the house a lot. So I'm going to send you the seller's disclosure, and if there's anything else you need, just let me know. Be nice. What goes around comes around. Don't be poaching other people's buyers. Not cool. Benefits of open houses. Inexpensive. Prospecting tool. High ROI. Quality leads. Okay, inexpensive. Yes, it is. It is. You can get the balloons from here. I blow my balloons up here. We have a gas tank. In case you didn't know, helium is on the shortage right now, which is bizarro. My daughter graduated from Roswell High School about 6 weeks ago, and then 7 weeks ago we had a party, and almost a disaster as far as balloons. Couldn't get gas anywhere but to blow up the balloons. Husband had to go all the way to College Park. We live in Roswell. College Park, to his brother's house, who had a gas tank. There was no gas around here at all in Roswell. We went to Publix, we went to Kroger's, we went to Party City. Party City had it, but unless you'd ordered it at least 3 days before for the balloons, they weren't giving it out. And they certainly weren't blowing up balloons on Saturday, 3 hours before the party. So had I thought we have the gas here, never even thought of coming blow my balloons up here. So we have balloons here, we have gas here. So that's pretty inexpensive. Cookies or cakes, I always get little cakes, cupcakes. When COVID was rampant and I was still doing open houses in person, I did sealed up cookies that I got from a cookie shop in Woodstock, because I know the lady. But they were all pre-sealed, and they just had my name on and KW. It's fine. But really inexpensive. And marketing. I'm marketing in person. How cool is that? And I'm not spending bukus on realtor.com or anything else for that matter. Thousands just to try and get leads every month that are not even qualified. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that one. High ROI, yes. If you do it correctly, you will have a high ROI. Truly, I swear you will. The fortune is in the follow-up. When you're tired out of your brain, just make 3 more calls to the people that came. You will be amazed at the results. Be positive. Even if you've had a blazing row with your significant other on the way to the open house, or you've heard some sad news, or something has got you off kilter, when you go into that open house, you are on stage. You smile, you look good, you're the show person. You can cry again at 4:30 when you're picking up your balloons. It's happened. You know, there was one time I was driving on a Sunday and my dad called and told me my grandma had died. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, yes, did I bawl? Yes, because I was nowhere near her and she was in England. So we had to quickly make, you know, plans to get over to the UK and all that good stuff. That had to wait until after 5. And that might make me sound hard, but I had made a commitment to Marcella that I was doing an open house. I was probably an hour away from starting the open house. There was no one else to pick it up. And then you've got to think literally, okay, what can I possibly do? I can't do anything to go and fix it. Yeah, I mean, we left then on the Tuesday to go back to the United Kingdom, but just, you know, I know, and there's going to be a time when you get a tummy bug that morning, or you have some illness, or there's a family emergency and you're in Atlanta, Georgia. I get it. Then either cancel it or find one of your friends to just go and sit in the open house, and they can. Of course, remember that it has to be a licensed person. If you are really in a bind, a non-licensed person can sit there, but they can't discuss anything about the house. So why would they sit there? They can only say things like, hello, welcome to 123 Main Street. Here's the flyer. It should tell you everything. Here's the agent's business card. She's had a family emergency or whatever. And I'm here to help, really, as a hostess, because there are those things. There are paid hostesses that do this for a living, by the way. I'm just here as a hostess, and I really can't answer, because of law restrictions, I can't answer any questions about, but we just wanted to still have the house open to the public. Explain, or get your person to explain. There's always a way, all right? So, and then qualified leads. All right, the people who are coming to open houses, are all of them wanting to buy it? Probably not. You're gonna have some nosy neighbors. I would go. If mine was up for sale down the street, you bugger, I'd be there. A, why didn't I get the listing? And B, I want to see what it looks like. If it's 5 doors down from my house, I want to see what the competition is, or what they did to their kitchen. You're gonna get some of those people. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't still treat them the same as if they're going to buy next week, next year. You can still be putting them into the funnel. Remember the funnel that we've all been taught about for cultivating and doing all the stuff with your leads, what you should be doing. And who knows, in the future, you could be listing their house or helping their daughter. Yeah, nosy neighbors. Donna may know who else is thinking of selling. Yeah, I know. I knew what you meant. Hello, noisy neighbors. Yeah, may know who else is thinking of selling in the neighborhood. Good to nurture relations. Yes, thank you. Very true. So nosy neighbors are also gossips. So they will know that Jeannie and Ted are probably going to be going through a divorce soon, or they know down the street, all their kids have now left the nest. So they're probably going to be doing what they need to do with regard to downsizing. They don't need this 6-bedroom house. So here's the other thing. If they see that you look professional, smell professional, behave professional, your car is not like a chunky dump on the front path, then they may well look to you for the future and go, you know, she did a great open house. She had all those cars down the street. Her follow-up, she looked good, she was knowledgeable. And this isn't even my listening. She was, she sends me postcards every month. She put out little flags in their neighborhood right before she did the open house. Oh, and she knocked on our door to ask if she could put a directional in the front garden, and no one's ever done that before. I once got a listing by doing that in Dunwoody because no one had, it was a crosswalk, no one had ever asked this seller if they could put, a sign that says this way for the open house. And I thought, well, okay. So, and I could see it was his garden. It wasn't like Dunwoody or DeKalb's property. It was his, and I needed his grass. And so I just went and asked, and I didn't think anything of it. It was just like, hey, do you mind if I put the sign? And he was just like floored. And Neville, probably 6 months later, he had kept my card. And here's the lucky thing. I missed the opportunity to do my job, but for the grace of God, he did it for me. He contacted me and said, you might not remember me, but you were the lady who asked if you could put a sign in my yard. And I'm like, whatever, because I do it to everybody. Yes. And he said, well, that stood out because no one has ever asked, and we're getting ready to put our house on the market. I was wondering if you could come around and give me some clue. And I got the listing. Ultimately, I got the listing by being polite, by asking if I could put it in the garden, and also saying, by the way, just to let you know, I drive that white Acura, and if you see my car there still at 6 o'clock, because the house is vacant, if you could just come and check on me, make a joke of it if you want, whatever, but then someone else knows that you're down there. It is what it is. Tell as many people as you're going to be. But I did get the listing from him. So, Neville. So that was very cool. Hold on a minute. Let me see one. No. Hold on, folks. I'm sorry. That didn't work. I think I just plugged it up. Oh. Sorry. Oh. Where did it all go? Or what else? Sorry. I don't know where it's all gone. All right, we're just gonna move from here, I think. Hold on. Yep. All right. So let me get my list of things. How to prospect, okay, and we'll deal with this in a minute, okay? So we've dealt with how to, you've got to pick your open house, okay? Create a flyer. Create a flyer that is simple, and by law, you have to put whose listing it is. It's okay. You can put, it's beyond, listed by, exclusively listed by Fiona Jane Wheeler, hosted by Donna Patrick. It doesn't matter. People 90% of people won't know what the difference is, okay? They may think that Donna and Fiona work together, fine. You've got to do what's right, especially when you're advertising on Facebook, okay? So when you're advertising on Facebook and you have a flyer, you can get the flyer from the agent whose listing it is, and you can add to it. You can create your own in Canva. You can create your own, the ones in Command are easy peasy. They're point and click. If you can insert photos on your Facebook pictures, you can do this. It's not rocket science. And that should be going out. So if we start on a Monday, we pick our open house on a Monday. On a Tuesday, and there should be a calendar for this. Mine is just up here now because I've done it for so long. You need a calendar to make sure you're doing everything. On a Tuesday, you need to be creating your media, your marketing, and you need to be making sure that the agent has put it into FMLS and Georgia MLS. You need them to make sure that it is showing up already in Realtor.com and Zillow, which is free, because there's all sorts of people who are looking. You need them to be, so that's Tuesday, okay? Wednesday, I go door knocking. I go and see the house, hopefully, if the sellers will let me, or if it's convenient for them. But my best time is Wednesday. I go and see the house. I take my open house signs and I leave them in the garage of the house that I'm about to do. I get everything there as much as I can, apart from the cookies and the water and all that stuff. But I'm going to put my open house signs in the garage because I know I probably can't put them out until Thursday or Friday. I go and shake hands, meet the sellers, ask them if there's anything particular that they'd like me to showcase. And then with same said flyer that I have done the day before, I door knock. And I door knock as much as I can. I do 10 this way, 10 that way, 10 this way, 10 that way. I do 40. It takes about 2 hours. It's okay. It's my job. What I do for a living. I'm a realtor. So sometimes there's people in, sometimes there's people not in. It's okay. If they're not in, I put the flyer, I roll it up. If it has somehow I attach it to where they can see. I know I can't put it in their mailbox because that is a federal offense. So if they have a mailbox with the red little, flag thing, I just roll it and shove it down the side. Or, if you want to carry around sticky tape, you can stick it to the front door. The thing is, with some bigger houses, they very rarely look at the front door, right? I mean, everyone just drives in their garage and goes straight in. So it has to be somewhere that they're going to see it. So that's the Wednesday night. Oh, and I can take pictures as well. And I post those at nighttime, getting ready to do my open house. It was hotter than blazes out here. Met some lovely people, blah, blah, blah. Tell the world what you're doing. Don't be a secret agent. Tell them, well, my friends don't want to buy. I really don't care. One day they might. They need to know what you do for a living. If you went and asked 20 of your friends now what you do for a living, do they really know? Honestly, do they know? Do they know how hard you work? Do they know the hours that you work? Do they know what company you work for? Yeah. So don't be a secret agent. So tell people. You can also get the database of the HOA. Or you can definitely call the HOA head honcho, whoever he, she, or it is, and ask if they would please post about your open house. They may say no. Don't take it personally. They're just jerks. But you can also get onto their website and they will post it for you if you send the flyer to them. Why not? So that is Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, I do a blast to my friends, to my clients. It's in a Gmail. saying I'm hosting this. Again, one might be in Gwinnett, one might be in Dunwoody, one might be in Marietta. It does not matter. The people in Dunwoody have a sister that's moving to Gwinnett or wherever. All you're doing is telling the world, hey, this is what I do. I do it well. I work a lot. And I've got this wonderful opportunity for anybody that you know that's wanting to move to Roswell, wants a townhouse. The wider you spread your net, the more that you're gonna catch. If you're just gonna be insular and put it on Facebook and hope that someone's gonna go and give you a thumbs up, great. If somebody replies on your Facebook and says, oh, that looks like a great listing, I'm sure it'll sell in a hot minute. Reply, because the minute you start replying on Facebook, your logarithms go up. If you're just gonna also give them back a thumbs up or a heart, it doesn't go anywhere. So you gotta start replying, okay? And it keeps on pushing your algorithms up, okay? So that's Thursday. Friday, I'm putting my signs out. Friday, I go and I put signs out, and I also then go and door knock again with the people who didn't open the door. It's okay. I can do it again. I also then go to the local businesses. And if there's a cool bakery, or if there's a local bakery that's owned, by a private concern, I'm not talking about, one of these big ones, then I go and I get 20 cookies ordered from them, and I give them my flyer, and I ask if they will please. Now, some won't do it. A lot of them do it nowadays. And I give them my flyer and my card, and I say, I'll be back on Sunday, and they may say, oh, we're not open on Sunday. A lot of these smaller businesses are not. Okay, I'll come back tomorrow. Even if you're showing 7 houses, you'll go back tomorrow because it's your job. So, sorry, you have to go and, fit in, but if it means that you're supporting local business, and then post that to your website as well, or post that to your Facebook, where you say, hey, got these cute cookies today from Betty's Cookie Shop in Roswell for my open house, attach the flyer, on Sunday. If you'd like one, you might want to come to the house. Just make it cutesy. All you're doing is you're ramming it home to people that there's an open house and you're a professional, and they might want to hire you because you're a rock star with regard to doing open houses. Will you share this? I can. Great, okay. So, hey, Fiona, will you share this presentation? I will. Do you mean, Soraya, do you mean the, this, or do you mean the recording? Just so for clarification. I'll do either. Let's see. I don't know where Soraya's gone. Soraya, you need to reply. Just let me know if you want the Ignite presentation or if you want the recording.
I'm so slow. I don't know why I thought I needed to text all that. I forgot I had a mic here. Sorry.
Oh, you were just being polite. No problem.
I'm just typing my little heart. I'm like, hold on, I'm gonna answer you.
And I
Oh my God.
That's the only reason. Yeah, do you want the Ignite one or do you want the recording?
I would like the presentation, but the recording, I think Donna said that she sent the link to everything in the chat box. So I was looking for the link where I know we had discussed this the other day in our PC meeting, and she said she sent the link to a PowerPoint. So I'm not seeing where it is.
All of you who are on, so I don't waste your time. Hold on. Here we go. All of you who are on, email me now and just say what you want, and I'll send it to you. fjwheeler@kw.com, 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 and let me know what you want, and I'll send it to you. If you want this presentation, or if you want the recording, or if you want both, I don't care. It's all good. Information, knowledge is power. So let me just keep on going. We've only got a few minutes. Here we go. So, okay, next. If it's your listing, okay, which it might not be, but it's okay. If it's your listing, then you also reverse prospect. Now, reverse prospect is a rather nifty tool in FMLS. And when you go into Matrix and you pull up your listings, you know, say my active listings or my editable listings, at the bottom, when you click on the one you're going to be holding open and yours comes up with the picture on the top left and all the blah about it, then on the bottom, it will, you know, say you want to print, you want to look, and then it has reverse prospect. Click on that. If you click on that, it's intriguing. It has all the agents who have clicked on your listing. It could be at 2 in the morning they clicked on it. It could be 10 o'clock yesterday. All you'll do is, it's a bit clunky, but there's a trick. Copy and paste it into an Excel. Okay, and then you'll see that it says, for example, it'll say Donna Patrick, it'll say her email address, and it'll be all bunched up. So the reason I say put it into an Excel is because then you can manually expand those bars, and then you will copy and paste all of those email addresses and put them into an email with a flyer for your open house. Now, you know, you could have somewhere up to 400 people. You might only have 40. It's okay. You're sending out an email to all these agents who may well be on holiday, but you know they're checking their emails, because they do. We all do. Or they may have another buyer this weekend that needs to buy, so they can't be with this buyer who hasn't sold their house yet, so they can't do that. And then, you know, they're getting more information from you about this open house. Your job is to showcase that home in addition to prospecting. But again, if you can say to your seller, oh, and I sent an email to 850 people as well today, agents who had clicked on your property, you know, because you have to validate yourself a lot of times to the sellers, which I know is not nice, because why don't they just trust you to do your job? But you have to. So if it's not your listing, you could definitely ask if you could reverse prospect on behalf of the agent you're doing it for. Or can she send you the list? If you don't want to ask, it's okay. If you did one of my open houses and you said, hey, FJ, can you send me a list of the agents who have already clicked on it? What have I got to lose? I got love. I just want to sell my listing. I'm giving you the opportunity to do your stuff. Do it. So it doesn't harm at all, I don't think, to ask. But you might have some agent who says, well, I don't know how to do that, or I don't have time, because it is like 7 clicks. So just saying. Wednesday, Thursday, Okay. Signs. When you're putting out your signs on Friday, let's just say you're putting out your signs on a Friday. Let's bring them in the nice way. If there's a neighborhood and there's a grotty side to get in, and there's a nice side to get in, let's bring them in the nice side. Just saying. Brookfield West, where my mum lives, has, I think it's 4. 1, 2. No. 1, 2, 3. 3 or 4 entrances. They're all nice. But then you get some other larger neighborhoods that are in East Cobb, where they're backed up to not particularly nice, you know, condos or townhouses. Why on earth would you bring people in through that way? So I'm just saying, but always make sure you have plenty of signs and you direct them well. Don't just put one at the middle, at the beginning of the subdivision and one outside the house. Don't be lazy. Put them, if it's gonna take 5 turns, you're gonna need 5 signs, plus one, probably to go in the front garden. So on a Friday, when you're putting out your signs, and remember, you gotta know the ordinances and all that good stuff, right? Now, at this point, think of all the people that you've told. You've prospected, you've told. Now on Saturday, remember, we're doing it on Sunday. On Saturday, you're gonna start calling your sphere. Yeah, that sucks. But you're gonna call them. Hey, because they've probably already seen now on social media and they've got your emails and all the rest of it. You're gonna call your sphere and the people that you've worked with before, the people you're hoping to work with. Hey, just letting you know, Tara, wasn't sure if you'd seen my post or if you got my email. I've got an open house this Sunday at 805 Oak Haven Drive in Roswell. I know you're not looking at the minute, but I'm just reaching out to as many people as I can so that it's a huge success for my sellers, and just checking to see if you know of anyone that's thinking of moving in there, or does anyone I need to call? She might say, no, don't know of anyone, but you know what? You just planted a seed to tell her, hey, Fiona's still in the business. Hey, Fiona's working her ass off. Hey, blah, 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 right? You've got to call people. It's not just balloons up on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning and a sign. Start work. And it's not a cold call then. You've got something to share with them. You're sharing with them that you're doing your job. You're sharing with them that this is what a realtor does. And it really shouldn't be a hard call. Now, if they say, you know, no, Fiona, we really, you know, we don't know. We live in Gwinnett or we live in Cumming and all our lives are in Cumming. I know, but you never know, you know, shy people get nothing. Just make it cute. But thanks so much. I hope you and Tom are doing great. You just made a call to your sphere. Now, if I told you without any of this, every morning you're to call 10 people, I know for a fact you wouldn't. I find it difficult. So I know you find it difficult. You're not calling 10 people a day because you got nothing to tell them. But this, you have something to tell them what you're doing. And even if it's miles and miles away. Now, in fairness, if they're in Macon or if they're in Massachusetts, are you going to call them? Yeah, I don't know. You could. If you're on a roll, just call them. I know this is funny, Lorinda, and you live in Canada, but I'm hosting an open house this weekend. So if you know of anyone, I mean, you know, who knows? I don't know. If you're on a roll, just keep it going. There's nothing worse than stopping and going through the, I'm not going to call Lorinda. She lives in Canada. She moved to Quebec. I mean, why would I call her? But you never know. She might say something funny back and go, that is too funny, you would even call. You know, our babysitters, mom and dad, are looking to move. Man, ding, ding, ding. Well, that's cool. I can get a referral in my head. I wouldn't say that to Lorinda, but I'd say, really? You know, we have 3 offices in and around the Quebec area. Give me your name and number if you can, and I'll be more than happy to try and hook her up with a Keller Williams office out there. You never know where your business is going to come from when you speak to people. I got a referral the other day. This is a true story now. 1 minute. When I was traveling to LSU last year just to look, now of course we're going for real. That's horrendous in a whole different video. But when we were just looking last year and we came up, and Katie and I came up, we stopped off at a rest stop. And a lady, and I had a Keller Williams shirt on. Not because of wanting to advertise, it was just clean when we left. I'm like, okay, fine. So met a lady in the bathrooms and her husband. We all came out. It was a hot day like this. It was August last year. Long story short, his name is James Hanby and he owns a real estate company. James Hanby called me yesterday with a referral. I met him at a bathroom stop last year. You never know where your business is going to come from. We exchanged business cards with my daughter rolling her eyes in the car going, is there nowhere we can go where you don't give your business card? I went, yeah. So you never know, okay? So just be cognizant of that, always be professional. Let's see what else I've got on here. So now we're up to, so Saturday, I've called everybody, even if I'm just in the car driving to appointments, I try and get at least 5 in to call. Hey, did you see my post? Sunday's the day, you're here. Okay, you got church, that's great. You got church, you got church. You might have to go earlier to get your balloons. Order ahead or do them here. Get your food. You've either got it from the little cake shop in Roswell, wherever you found, or you're just gonna get them from Kroger's. Give them something. If it's weather like this, buy waters. Shove them in the freezer when you get to the house. And they'll be cold enough when you start. Get to your open house on time. Do not, if you have a 2 o'clock open house, do not swan in at 1:45. You never know what you're gonna be upon. You go in and the AC's off. Holy crap, now what are you gonna do? You got 15 minutes to fix this, people. Now you're gonna look like a sweaty mess when the first guests arrive. So get there, I would say, probably about 10 past 1. So what if you just have to sit there? Take your laptop, take your presentation list, your contact list, and your open house sheets. You can get open house sheets from Command. We have them in Command. Just go into Command and write open house. You can actually do another one that is an app. So if I'm in a trendy part of town and my clients are in their 20s-ish, 20s, 30s, then they are going to be the ones that prefer to use an app. Now, the apps work best, I'm sorry to tell you, I have found, on iPads. Who knows why? So if you have an iPad, great. They do work on your iPhones as well. It's just, remember what I said about safety, your iPhone should be on you. You shouldn't be giving your iPhone to someone else to sign in. I just find that ludicrous. My life is in my iPhone. And if any of you say that you don't have a lot of personal information in your iPhone, it's unfair. Your iPhone has a lot more than you think, right? So if you can borrow your kid's iPad or whatever, or get a cheapo iPad off Amazon or whatever, it might be great. The one that I use is Open House Pro. Open House Pro is free. And I'm half Scottish. So everything I do has to be careful with money, okay? So Open House Pro I use depending, know your neighbors, know your audience. If it's a condo complex, if it's a younger set of folks, that's probably what they're going to be more, keen with. I would prefer paper. I'm a paper person. But so if it's in a seasoned neighborhood like Brookfield West or anything around here, then I do the paper. And it has name, email address. Are you working with an agent? Yes or no? If you are, please provide the name. Would you like any more information on this home? Yes or no? When I get there, I fill it all out with the first name. No one ever wants to be the first name on a list. No one. So I make a name up, and it's my mum and dad's name mashed together. So just letting you know, if you ever come to one of my open houses, you're gonna see Bob Kraft. His name's Bob Kraft, but his name was Bob Kraft. But it's Bob Kraft, and then I do a bogus email, and I do a bogus phone number. And you'd be amazed, everyone starts filling in after. Don't be frightened to say either. So I've got Lorinda upstairs, I've got Beverly in the kitchen, and Tara is coming in. I'm asking her to go to the basement. Don't be frightened when Donna comes down the stairs and I say to Donna, hey, after you've looked at the kitchen, would you mind filling this out, please, just so the seller needs to know that I'm doing my job. No one ever says no to me. I don't know why People, if you like this and you hand them the pen, that's it. I don't understand this whole, well, they wouldn't sign in. Why? Oh, I didn't like to ask them. Why? If you're not gonna ask someone to sign a piece of paper with a pen, you probably don't need to be listing your house or helping them find another one. That is the first step. If they're willing to, great. So then you go through all the rigmarole of all that. You close down the house at 5 o'clock, let's say 5 o'clock. You can, if it's a quiet open house, and I hope it's not a quiet open house, you should have note cards with you. And as Donna and her son leave, I'm writing a note because they've given me their address. If they haven't given me their address and they've given me their cell phone number and or their email, I'm sending a quick text. Thank you so much for coming to my house. It was lovely to meet you, Donna, and your son. If there's anything I can do, please let me know, and I'll send you a list of the other townhomes when I get home tonight. You don't start work when you stop at 5. I'm sorry, you don't. You've got to pick up all your balloons, pick up all your signs. It's hotter than Hades. You go home, you see your family for a little bit, but that night, you need to be sending all your thank you notes out, however you can. Be it a note, be it an email, be it a text. You've got to be in their face. Next day, so you then start an 8x8 process, right? The 8x8 process is how you're going to sort out the wheat from the chaff. It's how you're going to sort out and get people to actually engage. You're going to send them your flyer. They might have seen 7 open houses. What are you talking about? Which house? You're going to send them out in an email. Thank you again for coming yesterday to my open house. And let me know if I can send you any other houses, or if you have any questions about the neighborhood that I can answer. Hope you're having a lovely Monday, and thanks again for coming to my open house. Monday. You leave Tuesday. You call again Wednesday. You do this, you do an 8x8. So I don't have time to go through what an 8x8 is, but if you go into KW Connect and you type in at the top in the search bar, 8 times 8, that's an 8x8. It's also in the MREA book. It will show you what you have to do for an 8x8. So it's a phone call, a text, an email, a personal card, and you're just gonna keep on going. These people came to see your house for a reason. Even the nosy neighbors, you can do 8x8s with. These people should all be also on Sunday night, at the latest Monday, be entered into your CRM. You've just added 20 people without really having to try too hard. Robin's checking who's, they're all on here.
Hey, what's up with this? I come into an empty training room. Hi, guys. Hi.
There you go. So cool.
Okay,
Very cool.
so I saw her this morning and I saw
Oh,
her this morning.
Sean's driving a car. Are you still there, Sean? There he is.
Still here. I'm here and I'm driving. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Take it off. Take it off. Bye-bye.
I want my dad joke. I want my dad joke right now.
Okay. Hold on a second. Let me turn up the video and I'll get you a dad joke. Give me
Hilarious.
He's got to go
Oh my
look
God.
one up.
Yeah, really.
So what was really funny, you guys, is that while I was at home recovering, I would get these random texts from Sean saying, dad joke alert. And he would give me a dad joke. And I'm not kidding you. I would be laughing like, I got to stop laughing. This
Yes.
is not good. This
This
is
is
burning. I can't do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys ready? Here we go.
Yes.
Out of all the animals, which one is the least interesting? A boar. Yes.
Son, go back to the drawing board.
That was cute.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
good fun. Really fun.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh
You
my
guys have
gosh.
fun.
Very cool. That was a good one. I will be telling that later. So you can tell that joke at your open house. So, okay. Something else that just, I didn't write my notes, but something else that I do is I do a little competition. And I have a, literally, I have a fish bowl, you know, the old fashioned glass ones. You can have anything, but mine's just in my box. I have an open house box in the garage and I just pick it up and go. I have my speaker in there. I have napkins, red napkins. I have sanitizer, I have gloves, I have little shoe things in case it's a nice house and everyone needs to be wearing their little things that go on your feet. I have my sign-in sheets, paper ones. I have balloons spare because you don't know horror stories. You go and get your balloons, you open up the trunk and they all bloody fly out and you want to vomit. But anyway, so spare balloons. I have a plate to put my cupcakes on because you'd be surprised how many times I go to a house and I can't find a bloody plate. I'm like, seriously, you don't have any plates? Well, they're in the process of moving, so they've already packed their plates. Nothing looks worse than the nice thing from Kroger's that's just the plastic covering. Pens, business cards, and I have my husband's business cards because he's a lender. So, oh, another thing you can send is your app. If you don't have your app, your KW app, you need to have it. While they're standing, while Arinda and her family is standing in front of me, I'm going to say to her, eye to eye, hey, when the open house is over, would it be okay if I sent you my app? She's going to say no. No one's ever said no to me. Just be polite. For the love. So, yes, you can. Okay, great. So I just need to make sure that I've got your phone number here that you just wrote down, 404-797-8618. Is that right? Yes. Okay, good. I'll send it.
Hey, Fiona.
Yes.
A lot of people are used to QR codes now, so I put it on a QR code. They can get my app from that one. Yeah.
So where do you put your QR code?
Around a couple places on the counter, on tables, and I'll be both have my business card and the QR code for my website.
Excellent.
And
That's
Sean, how do
Yeah.
you create that QR code?
Oh,
I've done it
you
on
can go.
something.
Yeah, there's a QR creator. If you Google QR creator, they're free and you can create it very easily.
Okay,
Excellent.
thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
I once saw that, probably I first saw that about a year ago. At a showing. And that's where she had all her seller's disclosures and everything on the QR code. Genius. Gone were the days. So she had the seller's disclosure embedded into it. She had the CAD, the Community Association disclosure. So, I could have waited to go home. They were also in FMLS, but my goodness, your buyer standing right there, And I said to Alex, my buyer at the time, I said, 25 years old. I said, hey, just scan and you can get the forms that you need and I'll get them when I get home. Brilliant. And it had all her information. So I didn't think about that one, but thank you. That's a good one. I need to add that to my list, QR codes. But
I only have one good idea a day, so that was it. Sorry. I'm done.
That's fine. You've exhausted yourself now and the joke. Holy cow. You did great. So QR codes, good. Hang on. Seriously, I'm gonna add that to mine. So now you've sent stuff. Okay, you've sent stuff. Would it be feasible to think that you have now been prospecting? Yes. Are you touching base with these people? Yes. Are you sending them something of value? I bloody hope so. If they don't like the house you're standing in, and if they have told you that they're not working with an agent, and they have their lease runs out in October, and it is the 8th of July, do you think they are a hot potato? Yes. So it is up to you to not take your foot off the pedal or off the gas, as they say. Don't take your foot off the gas. Don't give up. This could be a very valuable person in your database. They came to see someone they've never met before because they wanted to see this house. The house didn't work out. So perhaps if you're polite and you look like you know what you're doing and you keep on dripping on them and sending them stuff, they might actually acquiesce and go, yeah, okay, fine. So the next step after that would be to organize a buyer orientation. And a buyer orientation is just to go and meet, you can have coffee somewhere. I'd love to discuss real estate with you. It's what I do for a living. It was lovely to meet you last Sunday. I would love to help. Also something to make note of. At the minute, I know that probably showings are down on open houses, but something that I've always done, no matter how many you get, always, how to say it without being HR and all the rest of it. If you've got 30 people coming through, you're gonna have to write on this note here, on this contact thing, somewhere, what the people look like or what you discussed. You're never gonna remember Lorinda, is it Nardos?
Mm-hmm.
It is Nardos? No,
Yes, models, yeah.
beautiful name.
Thank
Nardos. Okay. You're never gonna remember Donna from Lorinda. When everybody goes and you've got 30 names, wouldn't it be better to have written Donna in green shirt with LSU baseball hat with sun? Lorinda with red shirt talked about how she had been to England 3 times. It's going to, when you get home, even though it's an hour later, after 5 o'clock, of course, and you've taken your signs down, when you get home, that's gonna, I tell you, it works. You're gonna go, who was that in the red? Ah, that was her in the baseball hat. Because you wanna send out personal things. So Lorinda has been 3 times to the UK. I don't know if she has, I'm just using an example of someone I had last week. 3 times to the UK. So in your personal note, Lorinda, it was lovely to meet you and your family at my open house. I'm so glad you enjoyed London, Carlisle. Can't believe that you've been to Carlisle, my birthplace. Anyway, thanks again for coming to my open house. I'll stay in touch and keep you abreast of the market. That's personal. That's not just, thanks for coming to my open house. Let me know how I can help you. Well, you can't, because you don't remember me from Diddley-o. So that works for me, okay? So here's a classic example, and I'll let you go. A classic example was real life last Saturday. I couldn't show on Sunday because we had stuff with family. So, I mean, I couldn't do it now. So I did an open house my listing on Saturday. We had 22 people came through. I know that that's not a lot because 3 weeks before that, I did another open house on another listing and I had 45. So I don't know if it was summer holidays, people going out of town for the 4th, I don't know. So it was not just this, sorry, it wasn't just this Saturday, it was the Saturday before, because it wasn't the 4th of July. Anyway, so people came, lots of people came to my listing, it was super cool. It was hotter than Hades, so they got ice creams and they got water. And a lovely couple came through, one in particular, young girl. She was looking, I got to talk to the mom and dad. They were just visiting from Pennsylvania. How do I know that? Because I bloody well asked. So they were visiting from Pennsylvania. Long story short, she's a police officer. The young lass is a police officer who just graduated. And she also went to Roswell High, where my daughter just graduated from. Mom and dad are wanting to sell their house in Pennsylvania. So I sent that referral up to a Pennsylvania KW agent. So I'll get 25% off that. Again, I'm not boasting, I'm just telling you, if I can do it, you can all do it. And I'm meeting her, the girl, I'm meeting her on Sunday in the office here to do my first fire orientation with her. It took an open house, a personal note to both her parents and to her, be nice, mom and dad. And it took phone call on the Tuesday. We missed each other and I was so ticked. We missed each other. I thought, that's it. She doesn't want to ever speak to me again. And then another one on Thursday. We hooked up last Friday and spoke to mom and dad as well. And so last Saturday, I booked it for this coming Sunday. That's one. There's another couple who are a young couple who have a Keller Williams agent friend. So rather than lose the business, I said, no lie, I said, if they would like for me to share with them some real estate things and go out and look at property, I was more than happy to give a referral to their friend so that they did not feel obliged to use her if they felt it was awkward. It was a friend of the ladies, young girls. Her husband didn't want to use the Keller Williams agent. How do I know all these? This thing, because we stood and talked in the kitchen of the open house. He didn't want to use the friend because he didn't want his personal business discussed with the friend. I get it. So I said, I understand. So long story short, I'm meeting with them next week. And I know who the agent is out of the Woodstock office, because my listing was in Woodstock, out of the Woodstock office, and I've already sent her a referral form so that if I ever see her at a Keller Williams event, she doesn't stab me in the back because I poached her clients. I didn't poach anybody. I offered, I said, okay, well, you need to be using Susie. We'll just use Susie Smith. That's her name. Susie Smith at the Woodstock office. And the girl smiled and then rolled her eyes to her husband. And I'm like, ooh, something not right there. So that's 3 pieces of business potentially I got out of doing a 2-hour open house, 2 to 4 on a Saturday. And I need to make it work. Why? Because I could have been spending time with my mom. I could have been spending time with my husband. I could have been spending time with my daughter. So I need to make it work whereby I don't feel guilty. And you'll do the same. There's nothing worse, and I've been there, than doing an open house and 2 people coming and you get nothing out of it. What a waste of time. Just dust yourself off and do it again next week. Do it again. There's nothing in the Bible either that says an open house has to be done on a Saturday or Sunday. You can do an open house on a Thursday afternoon. When I was selling a lot and I was selling in Midtown or in town, there was business to be had if I did it on a Thursday night. I don't know why I got so many people when I did cheese and wine events on a Thursday night. They had to sign a disclaimer because if you go and have a glass of wine on my behalf and then you wrap your car around a tree and kill somebody, I'll be liable. So there has to be a disclaimer. Competition, and then I'll go. Fishbowl card, just an index card. Please put your name and address on here. No, just capture their stuff. Name and address and phone number. I'll be having a drawing tomorrow to win this, I don't know, Starbucks card, a $50 Starbucks card. There will be one winner for sure. And then you will also send $5 or $10 gift cards to the others. Or people that you think might be a shoo-in to get their business. Hey, you didn't win, but I thought this could be useful this week. Have a great week. And now you've just captured people's information. that can go into your CRM. There you go. That is how I do it, and I swear I've made a lot of money from open houses. And no, it doesn't cost a lot of money. It costs time, but I think as new agents, we have a lot of. And you need to be productive. And you need to feel like you're doing something during the week. So does anyone have any questions? Nope. Cool. Who's doing an open house this weekend? Anybody? Beverly, you're not. Your sound's not on, Beverly. No. No, I can't.
Beverly's shadowing Adam Sobel this weekend.
Oh, okay, good. Good, that's good. Very good. So you all should be thinking possibly of doing one next weekend. Do a competition between the lot of you. See who gets the most. You do something, I'm telling you, it works. It works. And you feel so good doing something productive and having something to talk to people about instead of like this stupid rate business and are we in the toilet? Is this the next Great Depression? Oh my gosh, be quiet. I'm having a great weekend. Great thing. Come and see me at the open house.
Can I share a story, Fiona?
Yes,
I
please.
did an open house last weekend, last Saturday for Reed Casey in
Oh, yeah?
Milton. It was a $1.15 million listing, and someone came into the open house. Unfortunately, she was represented by another KW agent, but she came to my open house. She brought her son back to see the house before I left, and she wrote an offer, a cash offer, and went under contract. I was like, oh, if only she hadn't been represented, I would have had a great day.
I know. That's
But-
very cool. And Reed's a nice guy. He might give you something.
Yeah, open houses are my main source of lead gen, and I typically try to do them Saturdays and Sundays every week. I'm just taking this weekend off for personal reasons, but they work. The majority of my business has come from open houses.
Right, and Heather Hare, I know she's probably out showing or closing or something. Heather Hare is another great one who's on our ALC, who has only been doing this a really short time, and was corporate America, threw in the towel with that, and does an amazing open house, and her follow-up is brilliant. And she will testify the same, Donna, that she's made good money from open houses.
And Myra too, Myra Albritton is also
Right, exactly.
very good at open houses. She's who I sort of learned from in the beginning.
Yeah. So it's, I think it's the nice part of the job. There's a lot of nasty parts to this job. I'm not kidding you. But I just think this is a fun part. I really do. It's exhausting if you do it right, but I just think it's a fun part. And I think you can make good money. And I think you're building a future and you're building your database. They might not buy this year, they might not buy next year. But you've just added 20 people to your database that you would have not done if I had told you, go and walk around Kroger's and get me 20 people. You wouldn't have done it. You wouldn't have done it. You perhaps would have got 5 with your clipboard and then go, I'm done with this. So, all right, lovely girls and boys. Yeah, nobody's gone. So don't forget that joke. The dad joke. And I will see you again soon. If there's anything you need, let me know. And just send me those emails and let me know which you would like. Okay.
Thank you so much, Fiona.
Thank
Great
you.
information.
Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye, Beverly.